Good evening. I'm Haylee Ficuciello, Senior Correspondent for Englebrook Independent News. Tonight, major cases unfolding in the nation's capital, ranging from child exploitation and pandemic fraud to a sweeping international crackdown on billions of dollars cyber scam network targeting Americans. We begin with a disturbing case involving the distribution of child sexual abuse material. A Maryland man has pled guilty in federal court in Washington, D.C. to distributing child pornography in online networks involving explicit exploitation of minors. 26-year-old Jasper Collinson of Columbia, Maryland, admitted to distributing multiple videos depicting the sexual abuse of children in October of 2025. According to prosecutors, Collinson engaged in an online conversation where he openly discussed his interest in child sexual abuse material and shared at least 9 explicit videos with another user. Investigators say he also directed users to private online channels containing hundreds of similar files. A search of his phone uncovered additional conversations, including statements describing prior inappropriate conduct involving children and attempts to arrange sexual encounters with a minor. Collinson was arrested by the FBI on November 5th, 2025. Federal officials say the case underscores the ongoing threats of online exploitation networks and the aggressive efforts underway to dismantle them. A Florida business owner has pled guilty in Washington, D.C. in a scheme that defrauded federal pandemic relief programs designed to help struggling American businesses. 44-year-old Gerald McTry of Venice, Florida, admitted to conspiracy to commit bank fraud after obtaining more than $257,000 in fraudulent Paycheck Protection Program funds. Court records show McTraw's company falsely claimed to employ 18 workers with a monthly payroll exceeding $100,000. In reality, prosecutors say the company had no W-2 employees and only a fraction of the reported payroll. The funds were approved in March of 2021 and later forgave after additional falsified documents were submitted. Federal prosecutors call the case a clear example of pandemic-era fraud, diverting taxpayer fund relief away from legitimate businesses and workers. Sentencing is still pending now to one of the largest coordinated fraud crackdowns in recent years, targeting international scam networks responsible for billions in loss in American victims. The Department of Justice has announced sweeping action by the Scam Center Strike Force aimed to dismantle criminal operations based in the Southeast Asia area. Authorities say more than $700 million in cryptocurrency tied to fraud schemes have now been identified and restrained. 2 Chinese nationals have been charged in a connection with a large-scale scam compound in Burma, where traffic workers were allegedly forced to carry out investment fraud schemes targeting Americans. These operations, often referred to as pig butchering scams, manipulating victims over time, convincing them to invest in fraudulent cryptocurrency platforms. Losses have surged dramatically over the years. 3.9 billion in 2023, 5.8 billion in 2024, and over 7.2 billion in 2025. Officials warn those numbers likely represent only a fraction of the true damage. In addition to arrests, authorities seized over 503 fraudulent investment and shut down a messaging channel used to recruit victims into forced labor scam compounds. Federal investigators say thousands of victims have already been identified and hundreds of millions of dollars prevented from being lost. Officials describe this operation as a major step forward, but warn threats remain widespread and evolving. In a separate case, a California man has been sentenced in Washington, D.C. for his role in laundering millions tied to a massive cryptocurrency fraud scheme. 22-year-old Evan Tangeman received a sentence of 70 months in federal prison. Prosecutors say Tangerman helped move at least $3.5 million in stolen funds, part of a broader criminal enterprise responsible for more than $263 million in losses. The group funded lavish lifestyles, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single night at clubs, purchased luxury vehicles, and rented multi-million dollar homes across the country. Investigators say Tangeman also attempted to destroy evidence after being arrested, further solidifying the case against him. Back here in Washington, multiple sentence decisions highlight ongoing concerns over violent crimes and illegal firearms. Tayon Wright, a previously convicted felon, has been sentenced to 30 months in prison after police recovered a modified Glock capable of an automatic fire following a vehicle pursuit. Authorities say the firearm, equipped with a conversion device, posed a significant threat to public safety. In a separate case, a Washington, D.C. teenager received a full suspended sentence for a series of armed robberies and carjackings committed in 2024. The decision, issued under the Youth Rehabilitation Act, drew opposition from federal prosecutors who had sought significantly longer prison term. And in a tragic case, justice moves forward in the killing of an innocent bystander. 22-year-old Daniel Bergera has been sentenced to 66 months in prison for his role in the 2023 shooting that left 46-year-old Donald Childs dead. Prosecutors say Bergera drove the vehicle while his co-defendant opened fire from the passenger side, striking the victim on a public street. From cybercrime networks operating across the globe to violent offenses and fraud cases here at home, federal authorities say enforcement efforts are expanding to meet increasingly complex threats. For Englebrook Independent News, I'm Haylee Ficuciello. Stay informed, stay vigilant. Good night.